The launch was a lot of labor, obviously. When you're planting 84 plants on 30 islands, that's about 2,500 plants that we had to plant. So we actually did that right here in this pavilion area. I had a lot of volunteers, student help, whatever, and it took us about 3 days. Obviously 30 islands, we could average about 10 a day is what we got planted and launched out there. And then once we had the islands out there, I had to run the cable system. So there's actually cables running the length of the pond here, holding all those islands in place, so they kind of stay where I want them to. So, but it was a fairly lengthy process and fairly labor intensive. But now that they're out there, the only thing I have to do right now is if it doesn't rain, I have to water those plants about every 2 to 3 days until they get a big enough root system on them to get down and reach the water under the island. But obviously we've had rain the last 3 days, so I haven't had to do any watering for the last couple of days and probably won't for another couple more days yet. So after that, though, it'll probably be pretty self-sufficient after that. We have about 10 different species of plants planted on these islands. Mostly they're rushes and sedges. I think there is a duck potato, and there's a swamp milkweed in there too, just to kind of get some pretty aesthetics out of it. But most of these plants, when they're fully grown, should be 3 to 5 feet tall. There's a couple of the sedges that will get up to 10 foot. So this will look considerably different when these plants get growing than what it looks right now, and have a lot of aesthetic value and kind of wildlife habitat and help cool the water in the pond. So there's a lot of other benefits besides just nutrient removal. And you can see all the walking trails the college put around so again, it'll have some beautification for the campus as well. So got a lot of different uses here on the campus. The fencing was to keep the geese off the islands and be able to, and from eating the baby plants until they get fully established. Now, I've been noticing just since they've been out here, which is only about a week, the geese actually have not messed with the islands at all, even though there's geese out here typically pretty frequently. The only thing I've actually seen on the islands and kind of near them is ducks, and the mallards obviously usually don't eat that kind of vegetation, so I haven't been too concerned about that. So I've actually been really happy with the fact that even though we have a pretty good goose population here, they actually haven't seemed to mess with the islands at all. The grant I've got funding all this is actually a 3-year study. So minimum 3 years, and we might go out to 4, and obviously, and after that, they may just stay out here because the college kind of likes the project kind of fitting into the whole topography and the whole kind of outdoorish, and obviously they're trying to put native habitat in and all that kind of stuff. So my guess is they'll probably stay here as long as they can. My idea also that I kind of figured was I want all the water to kind of go through the islands to get to the overflow, which is right here. So I kind of put the islands more in a line so that pretty much all the water should have to pass through these wetland plants to get to the overflow. So that was kind of my idea of how to make it more effective.